Hey guys, this is Odd One Gaming. This is going to be another King Arthur Legends Rise video. In today's video, we're going to talk about something really exciting, and that's going to be some new content that hopefully should be dropping soon, right? If I read that correctly, we're going to be getting that new content maybe the next month, right? Or I hope I'm not wrong, right? I hope it's as soon as possible. Now, what I'm talking about is a specific dev note, right? They released a dev note a few days ago where they said that they're working on new content and they're gonna give us more information. Now, I kind of missed it yesterday, right? So that's why I'm posting this a day later, but they have a post in their Discord that obviously links to their forum that they're talking about 4 new pieces of content. You heard that right. There's 4 new pieces of content in development, but they need us to decide on that. So what they need us to do is they need us to vote, right, on those 4. Which one do we want to prioritize, and whichever gets the highest votes, that's the one that they're gonna be prioritizing to release as soon as possible. So I'm going to look at the 4 options. I'm going to have a link to where you can vote as well. I'm going to have it in the description and pinned comment of the video. Make sure you check it out. And while you're at the description and pinned comment, make sure you support me as a content creator, right? It costs you nothing, helps me a ton. Plus, if you do that today up until reset, right, on the 6th, which is going to be tomorrow or in a few hours, depending when you see this, you can still grab yourself an amazing coupon that I have. You know, you have to support and I have to send it out. That gives us 5 special summons. However, there's still 2 more coupons that gives us 20 summons with gold, with stamina. So, you know, make sure you support me. Costs you nothing, helps me a ton, and I would really appreciate it. But let's look at what they are saying. So we had this posted, like I said, April 4th at 5 a.m. my time, so that's really early. So the roadmap many of our players have been eagerly waiting for has arrived, right? This is something really important for these types of games. You want to see a roadmap, you want to see what's the plan, you want to see what's being developed, right? Because if you play a game like this and you get to a point where there's not much to do, you get bored and you quit. But if you have an idea of, you know, if the developers do talk, like hopefully this is what's happening now, if they do talk and give us an idea of what's happening, it might make you stick around, you know, just play it a little bit on the background, keep the account maintained, and then come back when there's new stuff coming. So let's see what they say. So along with the reveal, we are running a survey to hear about everyone's preferences. Participate in the survey below and let us know what you think. Again, this is the link I'm going to have in the description and pinned comment. Make sure you click it and come and look at it. So new content preference survey goes from the 4th, which was yesterday, up until the 8th. So it's a really short period, right? So if you want to get your voice to be heard, vote as soon as possible. So details: participate in the survey to receive rewards, check out the roadmap, and vote for your favorite new content. We're going to check that before we go to the counting. So you do have over here rewards. You get a chest of stamina, which I guess after the voting's over, we're going to get that stamina. So these are the 4 options, but let's check them out, right? So if you look over here, here is the roadmap we teased in the previous dev note. Yes, please. So King Arthur Legends Rise roadmap reveal. We are happy to share some news on the upcoming content for King Arthur Legends Rise. The team is currently preparing 4 new content, and we will prioritize their development based on what our players want to see in game. This is good, right? Again, this is a good thing to see that they actually care what we say, so they're giving us options to choose from. So participate in a survey and help decide which path our journey will take. Again, that survey is on the other page, but let's look at this. So King Arthur Legends Rise roadmap. Content 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's see. So content 1, Hall of Conquest, consists of 3 dungeons. Periodic rotation system uses various heroes' rewards by points scored. So I'm curious what this means. So 3 dungeons. Is it gear dungeons? Is it some other type of dungeons? These is various heroes. I'm expecting that maybe has certain conditions, like Hard Forbidden Dungeon. And by point scored, you get rewards based on what points you do. So I guess this might be something like, you know, has specific challenges or specific requirements each time it rotates. This could be an interesting one, first of all, right? It's 3 dungeons. Even though they rotate, you might have only 1 open at a time. It's still a good one. Like, okay. Content 2, Irregular Arena. New arena, weekly competition. Rules change every week. So I'm personally not a big fan of arena, right? But arena most of the time is the kind of like, that's where the end game comes to for games like this. But because of the state of the game, because of what we have, again, this is my opinion because I'm not the biggest fan of arena, I do believe that the game needs more PvE content first before they introduce the irregular arena. Because for the sake of arena, you do have the normal arena, and then you have the guild versus guild, which is pretty much, do you have 4 teams for arena, you know, strong ones, to put in the clan versus clan, right? The guild versus guild. So I don't think so. So I think I'm not personally now voting for this, right? I'm gonna vote at the end of this as well. But this one seems interesting, right? New arena, weekly competition, rules change. I'm curious if it's another mode or is the same one just changed. If it's the same one just changed, then definitely I want to see it later. Okay, now let's see content number 3. The Commune of Flame, Frost, and Storm. New PvE content, hero element based strategy, uses various heroes. So I'm curious what they mean by this, right? Because when you think about stuff that's like, relic specific or like, element specific, what does it mean? Does it mean whatever they come as their base relic? Or it's like, if you have all the relics in the game, you're always going to use the best team and that's it. This is what I'm curious about, right? I'm curious how this one could play out, but this sounds interesting, right? New PvE content, hero element based strategy. It might be a bit tricky because this might be a little bit, pay to win if you don't have specific relics. However, they've introduced so many things. They give us so much free stuff lately and so many ways to get specific relics that it's pretty easy to have like at least the core good relics that you need for stuff like this, right? So this one sounds interesting. It's just not as detailed, right? Like I don't really get what this one means. If we had a bit more info, I think this is the one I was going to vote for. That's, just element specific. This could be really fun. Then we have content number 4, Shadow Dungeon. New PvE content that's a co-op dungeon. Now this is interesting, right? So co-op dungeons can be tricky sometimes because most of the time the co-op dungeons that can be interesting are the ones where you have to co-op with somebody that is online, right? You're dependent on playing with your clanmates, dependent on playing with your friends that somebody is online. I'm all for that, right? I'm all for co-op, but it can be tricky because of, how global these games are. It can be tricky to do these co-op dungeons because of time zone. As an example, I'm, Europe, Eastern Europe, Romania. My time zone is UTC +2. But most of my clanmates, for example, right? If I look into the CLS clan, like for example, Lancelot, most of them are US. So US time zone is 7 hours behind me. They're like UTC -5 if we're talking about UTC. So that makes it a little bit tricky if I have to pair specifically with somebody like that. I'm not sure how this one could be implemented, so it's a bit weird. I think, from my point of view, looking at these 4 options, I think I'm gonna vote for Hall of Conquest, right? It's 3 dungeons, 3 new things. 3 new things to try and, theory craft, build teams for, see how it goes. So personally, my vote is gonna go for Hall of Conquest. We're gonna go over that, but let's check at the end because there's a little bit more. They have one more thing, new story coming soon. It does say over here, the content above is currently under development and is subject to change, which obviously, if it's not in game, it's subject to change. Even if it is in game, it's always subject to change because it might be bugged, it might be broken, it might not be balanced, they might always change it. But what do you guys think, right? Do you think this is good? Like from my point of view, seeing that there are 4 pieces of content that they're trying to work on, that they are in development, that they are there, right? There is something they're working on. They gave us this roadmap. I think it's a good thing, right? Because otherwise it's, for the last month and a bit, what was there to do, right? It's like we had Pod Archers, Sanctuary, we had, Forbidden Dungeon hard release, Guild vs Guild. Okay, it was good, but most people already beat that, right? Myself included. I just have like, I just couldn't be bothered to do hard Forbidden Dungeon, but I pretty much beat everything else. I'm fully free to play, so the game needs more. And I know it's a fresh game, I know it's a new game, but I do believe, unfortunately, right, for people that maybe want to play more chill, but for people that actually play, not extremely casually, but, just average players to like, hard grinders, the game needs a bit more content, and PvE is the way from my point of view. Give more PvE first and then start with Arena, because the tricky thing with Arena is not everybody is a fan of Arena, right? The reason why Raid Shadow Legends, for example, is the best game out there at the moment, unfortunately, right? There's no other good competitor for it, is because it has amazing PvE, right? They realize that, not everybody's an Arena fan. They do have Arena as well, but the PvE is amazing, and then they introduce some competition in the PvE as well, and that's why it succeeds. So that's why I personally believe they should be focusing on PvE. Maybe, maybe they should introduce 2 pieces of content that are PvE first and then go with the Arena stuff. So I'm personally gonna go for Hall of Conquest. Let's go over here. The cool thing is we can see after the votes, right? So what content are you looking forward to? Hall of Conquest. I want to see those 3 dungeons. Submit. Let's see. I think most people will vote for that. Am I right? Am I wrong? Let's see. Where can I see the vote? I thought it said you can see the vote. No, show me the vote. Where's the vote? That's what I thought it said. It said that after you vote, it should show up there, right? But anyway, let me know in the comments down below which one are you guys looking forward to. Hall of Conquest, Irregular Arena, the Communion of Flame, Frost and Storm, or Shadow Dungeon, right? Now, the interesting thing about this is the fact that, you know, this one has only 3 elements, but we know that there was in the past something hinted about light and shadow, right? Or light and dark relics. So there might be something that's gonna come in the future, maybe connected to this. So that's why I prefer to have the Hall of Conquest, then maybe Shadow Dungeon, and then the Commune of Flame, Frost, Storm, because with this they can introduce light and dark before, and they can make it all 5 elements. And then maybe look about Irregular Arena or Irregular Arena in between. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna leave it at this, guys. Again, I'm excited about this. I'm looking forward to this because, you know, it's a good game. It's just, you know, needs a bit more. Plus, if somebody from Netmarble watches this, push your marketing. Push marketing, push this game out because it's a fun game. You're doing a really good game, Netmarble, but, you know, you just need bigger communities and obviously get that content going because people love it. People wanna be in your game. They wanna play your game, so give them reasons to do that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next. Don't forget to support me as the content creator using the link in the description or pinned comment of the video. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, take care, run. Bye, guys.
Fight with honor. Vanquish the wicked, and you may prove worthy of your legacy.